Okay, and I think we are live. Let me get a sip of water. Get my radio voice going. Gotta get that radio voice going. What's good, YouTube? It's Jason Blaha here. Representing Jason Blaha's Strength and Fitness. Hold on. Got that nice filtered water. Get a sip of that. And let's get this up and going. Get some questions going. You guys remember to click the like button as soon as you get in. Hit the little bell so you can get notified when these pop up later. I'm going to have a good day here. I'm not going to put up with any nonsense because I'm in a good mood. I'm going to have no tolerance for nonsense. Let's get into some real questions, training and nutrition related stuff. I'll even answer your gear questions, guys. But I'm not going to entertain bullshit. Shouldn't have to. And the viewers shouldn't have to either. Hey, Jason, accessories, do you think work best for BJJ athletes? Your normal stuff, man. Like, look, any conjugate method's going to work good for BJJ, but pulling, grip training, axle bars, fat bars, any of that stuff. Because it's a grappling sport. You need to be able to pull with the force of 1,000 suns. You know, maybe get real good at some fat bar deadlifts, fat bar rows. Help you a lot. Jason, favorite row variation for lower and middle traps? Any type of row. All rows are fantastic for lower and middle traps. Any type, doesn't matter. Pick one. Better yet, pick two. Pick two types and do both of them. Get really strong at them, and you will have big ass lower and middle traps and upper traps. Done. Break 2 Final says creatine supplements are bad for the kidneys. Thoughts? Objectively false. What is his evidence for this? Not supported in the scientific literature, therefore he's full of shit. Hey, coach, can we get away with the big chest with only barbell bench, incline bench? Yes. Yes. Seems like as of late, no, I'm going to say I've been for quite a while. You don't train overhead press as often anymore. By not as often, you mean not at all. Is it more specificity to powerlifting? Thanks. No, it hurts my shoulders. It injures my shoulders, and therefore my bench press goes down. Thanks, man. Would you program axle deadlifts as an accessory? Set day of 10 after. I'd even do it as 5 or 6s even. Right? For BJJ. Oh, absolutely. Hi, Jason. How many days per week would you recommend for people who enjoy running for their cardio? I mean, you could run three days a week. Build it up slowly, gradually, right? Build it up gradually. That's the main key to adding cardio to your strength training. Little baby steps, a little bit at a time. Start with just the tip. Don't just go in balls deep. I'm not going to answer political questions as far as my voting goes. I was not other than to say Trump will not be my candidate of choice. I wasn't overly happy with him. Right? Not completely happy with Trump. I will probably not be giving him my vote. Is 3x5 sets 3 times a week enough bench volume? 3 times a week? You don't need to be benching 3 times a week unless you're a novice. It will chew your shoulders up. Quit listening to these guys telling you, I bench 4 days a week, 3 days a week. It's like, where are they at when they're in their 40s? Stop doing that silly shit. Speaking of rows, it seems like you like the OG barbell row and one arm row the most. Is it true? I like OG barbell rows. I like one arm dumbbell. I like seal rows. I like all of those, honestly. Thoughts on Victor Martinez? I don't have any. I barely know who he is. Seeing guys are dying because they aren't cycling, just blasting. No, I don't think that's what it is. Coach, you should paint yourself green and be Hulk for Halloween this year. Maybe. I could go for orc. I could be an orc warrior. I could be Thrall. Orc war chief. Loktarogar. For blood and victory. Coach, I'm very glad you're back with the current events. You guys got to start sending me more of those current events. Facebook, DMs, right? My Facebook is linked under every video. If you guys want me to cover current events, send me them links. You can send them on Instagram too. Jason, I have a discomfort in my shoulder and neck during bench press, but I feel comfortable with incline bench. Is that correct? Learn how to bench. Quit jamming your head into the bench. Done. Problem fixed. What muscles do you think require the least amount of volume to grow? For me personally, I feel like hamstrings. You asking what does the literature show? Probably biceps, to be fair. I don't find that the hamstrings need the lowest volume for me personally. Do we acclimate to higher volume over time? Not necessarily. No, your work capacity can go up. But if anything, the data is showing that our volume tolerance, and volume meaning percentage of a 1 rep max for number of reps in a workout, not, tonnage, because our tonnage capacity can go up. No, it seems to actually decline over the years. When drugs are not in the mix. Drugs are not in the mix. Coach, thoughts on Paul Carter saying bench press is a good strength exercise, but terrible at growing the chest? What's the evidence for this? There's a whole hell of a lot of studies in biomechanics that say bench press is great for chest. Right? So where's Paul coming up with this? I don't have any personal problems with Paul. I happen to like Paul. But it seems like a bullshit answer. Seems like a bullshit stance to take given the biomechanics and exercise science and hypertrophy data we have. It's bullshit. All right. No 4. I can't call out people for misinformation if you don't send it to me, because I don't watch influencers. I have no desire to watch influencers. That is, you guys need to send me their bullshit. If it's important enough for me to cover, you guys need to send it to me, because I'm not going to sort through it. I don't want to watch it, to be honest. I literally lose intelligence watching these people. I am dumber for having seen their material sometimes. Right? I'm getting older already. I can't afford to lose IQ points watching these clowns. I can't. I mean, we already start losing memory and stuff with age. Hi, Jason. Hope that's my old client, Paul. Hope all is well. I'm training my age 14 nephew using Ice Cream Fitness 2 days a week with linear progression. They do not listen. These builders just want to focus on abs and biceps. Any advice? Tell them to listen to you. You're the uncle. Tell them how it is. Tell them they need to train right. Cut that bullshit out. Hey, Coach, I hope you're doing well. I have one question. What's your opinion on people saying overhead press is better than bench pressing gives you better gains? Objectively false statement. Where's their evidence for this statement? Biomechanically, doesn't make sense. It uses less muscles than the bench press as primary movers. Stabilizers do not hypertrophy as a result. Right? Your dynamic stabilizers receive minimal growth from lifting. We train those stabilizers to be better at the big lifts. The big lifts don't make us have bigger and stronger stabilizers. Make sense? So doing other lifts will help your overhead press. Your overhead press isn't making other stuff grow outside of your shoulders and triceps. Bench press works more muscles, period. Objectively provable fact. If someone is already 18% body fat, blood work all fine, sleep fine, but is stalled in strength and size, what is suggested? Too nuanced of a question. The answer would be way too long to cover. Their programming might need some adjustments, though. That's where I would start. Malik, I'm not going to discuss transgender stuff. Sorry. I know you do not like to give supers and donate. I don't want to get canceled. We're not going there. Coach, with the big lifts, we train squat, deadlift, good mornings, reverse hypers, glute bridges, RDLs, are all three glute muscles fully developed. Influencers push glute medius pump work lately. I'm going to say based on what you have there, I think you're good. Hey, Jason, do you think hamstrings require less volume to grow? No. Coach, do you still believe the chin-up grows the long head of the tricep? Maybe. Tommy Cunno, Olympic great. Use the bench press to increase the press. The bench press will increase your press. Press meaning the standing barbell overhead press is what they are referring to. Yes. Coach, what do you think of programming the deadlift as a primary lift for 4 to 6 sets? 4 to 5 sets with 7 reps on one day and pause deadlift. You lost me there. That's just too complex. Why don't you train stuff to reps and reserve correctly? Do reps and reserve. Train everything to 1 rep and reserve. Why are you doing exactly 7? Where did you come up with this 7? I'm not going to be able to break down a full program for you in here and analyze it. Sorry, dude. These are fast paced. Reverse hyper or GHR, if you had to get rid of one, which would it be? At my age, I need to keep the reverse hyper. If I was younger, it would be more debatable. I'm glad you brought back your JM press. Seems like accessory always blows up your bench. Yeah, and I still really, really want to do skull crushers, though, in spite of that. No, I'm not going back to the Hant and the Grand Canyon, Johnny. You're going to have to move on. We're in a new era, a new time. Sorry, brother. Jason, do you think the JM press blows up your bench? What? These are kind of weird back in. Oh, my God. Is there 2 different Darkos here? Darkos. We got a fake Darko. Let me check. I'm going to find out. We're finna find out. Take a second to see if these are 2 different Darkos posted. Yes, they are 2 different Darkos posted. We got Darko 1 and Darko 2. We have an imposter. We got an imposter. Can't have that. Oh, we can't be having imposters up in her. Oh, he's a new account too. All right. Sorry about that, guys. My overhead press has always been a weakness. I got a new single on bench 250 a week ago. We can't even hit 315 overhead press. Well, don't worry about it. Why do you care? Worry about your bench. Do you still think Martin Birkin's philosophy is good? You don't have to be very specific. How many sets per week would you recommend for a grappler training 6 days a week? I'm wondering if I can get away. Dude, you're going to have to go low. No more than 10 sets of muscle group. Keep it low. You're grappling 6 days a week. That is an enormous chunk of your recovery. When performing chin-ups, should you lower yourself down completely to lockout? I mean, if you're able to. Do you think you could cover Rack City on the guitar? No, I'm not playing that style of music. I'm not going to get up on my guitar and strum it and be like Rack City, bitch, Rack City, bitch, dude. Rack City, bitch, Rack City, bitch. I'm not doing that. Why are there 2 Darkos? Bone, why are you addressing it? You want me to? I'm just going to block your ass too in a second. I've already got rid of it. We're not putting up with nonsense. Coach, I think, what? Did I ban the wrong Darko? That happens. Biscuit, I know you're a troll too. I decided that yesterday. Oh, this is fun. All right. Jason, when is Nick coming back? I know you said he was coming back once his health improved. I don't know. All right. What do you think of seated dumbbell overhead tricep extensions? I think they're hard on your shoulder. I think all the behind the head stuff like that for triceps, I'm not denying that it activates the triceps. I think the wear and tear on the shoulders isn't worth it when other stuff builds triceps just as well. Okay, that's my issue with it. Jason, how's life been? It's been okay. Does the long head tricep get work more with overhead extensions? I don't really think that it does. I don't think that it does. No, mainly because I just didn't feel like using it anymore. I think conjugate's great. It's not that I don't think conjugate is effective. I program a lot of my clients successfully on conjugate. I happen to like it. Right? I just wanted to do something different. And I want to work on heavy work on the main lifts. So it's very straightforward. It really is that simple. What is your favorite way to cook chicken? I just bake it in the oven. Right? We got the name Bone Crusher. Is that as in like the Houston rapper Bone Crusher? You like, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. Right? That Bone Crusher. Just got finished with a squat and deadlift lay down, tuning into live. Keep on inspiring lifters around the world. Coach Ratco, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad that I inspire you. Did I just ban you for nostalgia? No, but I might ban you for asking. Here's the thing I got to wonder. Anyone who asks if they're banned probably thinks that they should be banned. Right? I mean, if you're asking if you're banned, did you do something that you think is ban worthy? Do I need to just go, it makes me think. I'm thinking about it right now, Johnny. Not for any reason other than you asked. So it's like a guilty conscience going on there. How do you know if your floor press is weaker than it should be or whether it's just structure that makes you naturally weaker at it? That's a very complex question. I would need to look at your biomechanics and both of your lifts to really go further into that. I mean, where do we want to go with that? I don't know. I mean, guys who are thinner, they're not thick yet. Their floor press tends to be stronger, right? And that's what you mean by structurally. Long arms and no back. If you do heavy work on the main list, why don't you do? Because I don't think there's anything magical about the 5-3-1 part of the protocol. It's just nothing special about it. Jason, would you be willing to cover if someone natty or not? No. Look, if they're a public figure in the fitness industry, they're on steroids. Full stop. See how easy that is? There's your dead giveaway. There's another way to tell if someone is natty or not, right? Natty or not. Are they making their living as a fitness icon in some way? Automatically, fucking steroids. Guaranteed. 100% chance. Not even willing to entertain the possibility that they might be natural unless you're saying they're a bad businessman. You're insulting their business sense. Why wouldn't they be able to? They're making their living in the industry. Of course, they're on steroids. And I don't even know who you're talking about. See, that's an easy, and it's common sense. It's easy. It's inclusive. Not discriminating against anybody. Coach, nobody says lower body training can take away from muscle being added. That's bullshit. What's the intermediate strength level of the overhead press? I don't know. Go check strength charts, man. Go to Google, type strength standards. You're going to get some beautiful charts. Coach, I've been doing overhead extensions a lot. I also noticed that you used to have an IQ. Oh, what a weird thing. Sorry, I didn't even mean to read an insult. Normally, I just get rid of them. Thoughts and Cali muscle admitting you were right. What did he admit I'm right on? Darko, I just did a live stream on Facebook. The English guy you interviewed the other day is huge. What does he weigh? Lewis, I don't know what Lewis weighs. I've known Lewis like 10 years. Good. He's a good dude. Lewis, good dude all the way around. It wasn't an interview because he and I are just doing coaching roundtables back and forth. We've been friends a long time. We've always batted around coaching ideas. I think you shouldn't be worried about hormone disruptors in your foods. That's really think it's a nonsense topic. Okay. What are your height preferences for women? I don't know, man. I've dated and I've always married tall girls, though, to be honest. Like 5'7" to 5'9" were my wives, ex-wives. But I've dated as short as like 5'1", you know? So, I mean, I don't know that I have a preference. I prefer women who are hot. That's my preference. Do you think lifters at Winnings gyms should diet down? A lot of them are walking around. I haven't looked. I don't know. Darko, I have never said oil. Not even once. Of course it's dangerous. Yes, Louis, I have done hard work while lifting. You just have to mitigate it. You get used to it, though. But you do have to watch the things. Optional question: would Garrett and Isaac ever come back? I'm not going into that. I've already told you guys Isaac is not going to be coming back as a client. It's not welcome. Garrett's welcome back, of course, anytime. I don't know if I'll put him in vlogs. When do you decide to rotate an accessory exercise? For me, it's when I hit a rep goal with a particular weight. Either if I feel it's stalled too long, I want to change it out, or there's an overuse concern. Coach, thoughts on using a lower rep range like 10 to 12 for leg curls? That's not a lower rep range. Coach, have you thought about doing a roundtable of strength coaches, lifters on the YouTube where you talk about some current events? Alex Viata would be a good. I'm friends with Alex, and we're all in the same circle. Yes, I have thought about it, and Lewis is putting something together for that with some other people. We're going to try to do a multi-Skype call with some other people. I'm going to leave it a surprise. Who has already agreed to do one is going to be a big surprise. I don't think anyone's going to see it coming. Jason, regarding Natty or not, other than the other day you said starting out Natty and not. I never did know. I did the how to spot a fake Natty. Natty or not was a completely different thing. And it was part of the lawsuit, and they had to take it out when they realized I didn't own it. That I actually was not even really affiliated with it. Greg Doucette stole your Natty or not series. No, I had a how to spot a fake Natty, right? I didn't have a Natty or not. I never didn't do, hey, this person's Natty. Right? I didn't do those. This is how you spot a fake Natty, guys. Will one heavy single per week conjugate style build maximum strength with sets of 10? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. When it comes to prehab restoration work, is it possible to develop overuse with banded leg extensions? Yes, it is possible to get overuse even on your prehab work. I had an old friend who worked on a rig in the Gulf, made a lot of money. He says the work is brutal, but you get used to it. He's built like a leopard. You do get used to it, but it is brutal. It's freaking hard. Like I would never want to do that work again. Would you recommend a higher calorie surplus if you combine heavy labor? No, you just need to make up the calories that you burn with the heavy labor. You don't need a larger surplus. Is there any benefit to long femored lifters doing high bar squat? No, not really. I'm mid-cut and just quit a physically demanding job, so I'm going to start studying. Do you think it would be beneficial from raising volume if I've been doing low volume now? Possibly. Find your sweet spot. Okay, find your sweet spot on the volume. Is the ultimate goal to hit 405 in competition? That is the next goal, Michael. That's the next goal. Doesn't mean that that's the total end game, right? Coach, opinion on using Cialis as a pump as a workout popularized? I don't think that it's necessarily getting a bigger pump's a benefit. Does that work? And it does appear to. Yes, and it's a lot of bodybuilders do that. Johnny, I'm not going to answer questions like that. I'm not going to answer questions like that. Like, you guys try to want me to say racist stuff, and I don't want to say racist stuff. Right? I don't want to be a racist. So don't put me in those situations. What amount of exercise are reasonable for upper and lower days? 6 to 8. It depends. Really depends on your total sets. You were the pioneer of that kind of series. I guess I was. I mean, I think there were other people doing it a little bit though. I was just the first one, I think, to really get popular with it. Fake natties moralize about gear use the most. Yeah, they do. They're the ones who actually act like it's a big deal. I don't think there's a moral issue with gear at all. Right? I don't think there's an issue with it. How often do you shave your head? I shaved it last night. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. Like I had all that stubble on there the other day. Look at that. It's beautiful. I just shaved it last night before bed. It's all smooth and sexy. Can you do reverse grip bench as a max effort lift on conjugate? Yes, just be very, 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 very safe with that. What the hell does head shaving have to do with strength building? Well, apparently, look how many, boom. All right, step back. How many bald dudes are really, really strong? Come on. Telling me that's a coincidence? Have you thought about, I am very anti-smoking of tobacco. I am very morally opposed to it because it killed my mother and it's killed other loved ones of mine. I do not like tobacco and I will never smoke a cigar. What's a telltale sign that a recoverable volume per lifter is around 8 to 10 sets per week? They make good gains and they're not beat up when they do 8 to 10 sets per week. Have you ever had a client try to critique your programming decisions? Of course I have. Have you ever seen a movie called The Room? Nope, never even heard of it. Any benefits of starting low dose HGH in your 20s or should you wait till you hit your 30s? I mean, if your budget and stuff works, I think HGH is awesome. Do your research and decide if it's right for you. You're a grown man. Make your own decisions. Jason, do you still get paid? Just do the links. No, they paid me all up front for that. I only asked because Alpha Destiny hit a 305 reverse grip for his max effort day. Oh, okay. Coach, do you like chest flies? I don't program chest flies at all ever for any reason. Didn't we cover that in the thing yesterday? Lewis and I both laughed about that. Neither one of us program flies for people. When you incorporate a banded leg extensions, approximately how many weeks do you keep them in? I just do them until my tendons quit hurting. That's it. Just doing it as a rehab. Thoughts on using HGH only on other gear? Not so much. I don't think you're going to get as much out of it. There's a synergistic effect. I'm bald too. I'm glad you finally came to terms with being bald. Nothing wrong with a clean shaved dome. I'm telling you, man, it's sexy, dude. Dude, women like that. Dude, women like a bald head. I'm just telling you. Have you loosened your opinion? I'm fine with cable machines. Atomic, I'm not going to go into specifics of falling out with clients. A lot of it was very obvious, though, for people observing what the problems were. You just had to look at his social media. But as a professional, it is not really professional for me to get up in a public platform and discuss the specific details of clients who are no longer with me, of why they are not with me. It's just not appropriate. Other than to say he was not a good fit for my coaching services. What the hell is a noble natty? Have you ever been in a fight before? Yes. Chest flies are problematic. It seems like bicep is a lot of times a limiting factor rather than pecs. I don't know about that. Thoughts on microdose? You're not going to get mental benefits from microdosing trend. Right? It might be viable birth control, maybe, but so can low doses of DECA. But that's a whole nother topic, isn't it? Thoughts on the nurse. I don't remember which rig I worked on, Colin. I don't even know how to find out the number. Whatever, HI, whatever, because it was in the Gulf. And it was natural gas. I don't know why people keep saying oil. I have never, ever worked in oil. I don't know why people think that I've said that. I didn't. Natural gas and hydrogen. I have no experience at all in the oil industry other than I am a part owner of an oil well that pays me $6 a year that I inherited. I've never seen it. But that does make me an oil baron, technically. Because I do own an oil well, partially. I own a single 132nd of it. So, all right. I believe that's correct. That's what it is, whatever 64th doubled. So, yeah, I think it's a 132nd. What are your thoughts on carnivore MD Paul Sedino? If he's a carnivore, he's a fucking dumbass. That's all I need to know about him. All right, current events in the fitness community. Has Alpha Destiny ever had a girlfriend? Let's talk about it. I don't know. Has he? I don't know about his personal life. I would assume he has. Come on. There's no way he hasn't. Come on, dude. Get serious. How does Tren affect my mental health? I don't use Tren because if I did a bunch of Tren right now, I would probably be running down the street naked, other than a Viking helmet and an axe, while screaming blood for the blood god, skulls for the throne of corn. That's why I don't do Tren. Do you like barbell split squats for quad hypertrophy? Yes. Coach, one influencer said to do fasting for 48 hours to increase testosterone. I don't know who that is, but he is a fucking dumbass. Next. You think that because those platforms often explore for both oil and gas. Chris, I worked specifically natural gas. We were repairing or overhauling natural gas compressors on natural gas platforms. Okay. I don't know what's confusing about that for people. What is the main difference between training powerlifters and people training in other sports using strength as supplement? That is way too nuanced to cover here. It really needs to be sport specific. You're going to base that upon what they are doing. They're trying to mess you about Noble Natties as a circle jerk of YouTubers, which includes, oh, okay. Gotcha. Villain Blaha arc. I thought everyone said that I had a great character arc. Coach, opinion on guys not wanting to use TRT due to their ego, would it cause problems? Well, then they can suffer bad health. Right? If you qualify for TRT and you choose not to do it because of your ego, you can deal with the health consequences and the low quality of life. That's your choice. That is your choice to make. Coach, are any of your clients that conquer each other? Do they all not know each other? Most of them don't know each other. There are a couple who are in contact with each other. Jason, why are they adding more and more Smith machines to gyms instead of Power X? I wasn't aware they are, but that's a bad thing. What age were you when you worked on a rig? Love, the rig was such a small part of the work. I don't know why people are confused. I did a lot more work, either directly in the shop or in chemical plants doing contracts. I've only been on a rig really 2 times. One of them was an extended period of time, but I only did it a couple times. It was at most 1 to 2% of my experience in that industry was on the rig. Maybe 3%. I haven't done the math. How come all your haters on YouTube became washed out and weak, but you're bigger and stronger than you've ever been? Maybe they don't know what they're doing. What YouTube channels would you recommend for novice lifters? Boy, like I don't know who makes what content these days. I don't watch it, so I don't have a list, man. Sorry. Rank these in effectiveness for quad hypertrophy. I don't like leg extensions. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not a fan. I think hack squats and leg presses are pretty equal, though. That's crazy, man. How often did you get back to the mainland? Helicopter. I had one boat trip back because I got sick, and then we couldn't get a helicopter. Are you a swimmer, and do you think it's a good hypertrophic exercise for shoulders? I'm not a swimmer. I think swimming is great cardio. I don't think it's that great of shoulder hypertrophy. Thoughts on William? Is that the guy whose thing I commented on the other day? He got pinned on the incline bench. No, he doesn't know the fundamentals. And I called him on it on Facebook. You know, he needs to learn the basics. Jason, when it comes to gaining strength, do you recommend GPP or what? I don't even understand. I'm going to assume that's a troll. Do any of your clients have a bad diet to where it affects their training? Yes. Pre-workout orals versus test or trend suspension. Do you really need any of that for pre-workout? Do you really need it? I mean, I think we could make the argument, I don't know, if you wanted something really, really hardcore, but you could use long term, I don't know, maybe trend based. But do you really need it? Are we trying to just get extra neural drive? All right. Okay. Since there's so much bad information on the internet, how can we tell which one is relevant? I don't know how to tell you how to tell, man. I try to put out the best information that I can, but I can't tell you how to do all of that. You know, of how to sort through all this stuff. I just don't have the answers for you, unfortunately. Yeah, Malik, if we could not bring that up, I would be greatly appreciated. You guys ask way too many questions about a rig when I only spent, I don't know, like 12 or 14 weeks of my entire life on one. Like, why are you guys so obsessed with it? Genuine question. Is there any point training for aesthetics as a natty? No, because it's just going to be genetic. Just train for getting big, getting strong. And then if you want to have a certain look, diet down. But if you're drug free, I mean, it's going to be very much genetic at that point. It really is. You shouldn't need to train for it specifically. Not that you should care about being beautiful anyways. How long would you recommend train people for free and then start charging people for strength training? Try to become a strength coach but not getting any clients. A year or two. Charles, get a year or two of experience before you start charging. How important is it, in your opinion, to spread out your protein over 3 to 4 meals, 4 to 5 hours apart versus having just one or two? The one or two isn't enough. I mean, the optimal, I've even heard my friend Alan Aragon, who is known for his research work. I've always heard him say it's probably, we don't know the answer. We don't know the answer. but it's probably somewhere in the 3 to 4 meal a day range. It's probably where it is. And he's like, that's my best guess that you're probably going to be pretty safe there. Coach, do you agree that compounds aren't enough to grow arms and you must have an arm day? No. Like, what does an arm day have to do with adding single joint exercises? Like, do you have to have an arm day to do curls? Like, is that a requirement? I want you to think about that. I want you to really think about that. You can't do curls? Okay. You're telling me you can't do curls on the same day you do rows? That you can't do a tricep extension after you bench press? That it's impossible? Okay, I want you to try something. Next time you're at the gym, after you get done bench pressing, you finished your chest work, go do some tricep extensions. You can actually, it is physically possible to do. It can be done. Basic sit-ups for core exercise, a waste of time. I do these hanging leg extensions. No, I don't think they're a waste of time. Do you think there are non-responders to steroids or just really poor responders? I think some people respond less than others, but there have been no non-responders found in the scientific literature. Colin, you do get worked hard on a rig, and it doesn't matter what your job is. Well, I don't know, man. Maybe that safety guy, that safety guy sitting over there in the shade and the fans blowing. All right. What's your favorite cheat meal? It's also high in protein. I'm gonna go with pizza. Or if we want something less cheaty, fajitas, do fajitas rock. Also drinking shakes like cool. I think they're jumping. But coach, every person has big arms has an arm day. They can't be a coincidence. What do you mean? Tons of guys have big arms who don't have an arm day. What are you talking about? When you don't recommend high bar squats for long femur lifters, you mean specifically taller lifters or anyone with proportionally long femurs? I mean proportionally long femurs, though that tends to drift towards the taller. Do you miss the social aspect of public gyms? Yeah, to some extent. All right, let's get down to some real stuff. Tips for finding good male role models. I don't know how to tell you that. Blah, 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 blah. Thoughts on doing leg extensions and hamstring curls, single leg to work on the left, right, left imbalances, starting with the weaker side. I mean, that can make sense. I don't think that's an unreasonable strategy if you're going to do them. I don't think that's an unreasonable strategy, particularly if you do suspect you have a real imbalance, not a perceived one. But you'll know real quick if you do once you start testing the single leg, won't you? Hey, coach, my friend can overhead press more than he can bench. What's your advice for him? That's like not even possible. Give me 2 days with him and I will have him benching more than he can overhead press. Oh man, Jason, thank you for doing what you do. Our family home has recently had a bad house fire, and your content has been a lifesaver in the meantime. Fortunately, I can still hit the gym. Dude, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And I'm glad that my content has been able to help you. Oh man, let's get rid of some of these weirdos. All right. Are there people who have poor drug-free muscle building genetics but incredible muscle building? Probably not. I wouldn't think that would be the case. Tips to be a better butter burner. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Charles says, what are your thoughts on hitting a weight for 10 reps and then adding weight in regards to building strength? Or do you do the 5 rep standard here? I would generally, very rarely, unless it's just a single ramp up set, I wouldn't usually recommend that. I mean, on occasion, if you needed to get into your groove for a heavy set, but that's not how I would normally program with progressively heavier, like pyramid type training of that type. All right. Coach, has anyone in a public gym ever approached you to test your strength, i.e. a bench off? No, never happened. Why did you never get back to working chemical plants if the money was so good? Love, I make more money on the internet than I made doing that. John, I may be covering that. I'm going to look into that and possibly address that with the watermelon thing. That's ridiculous. All right, guys, we've run this about 45 minutes. Been a good live. Got a lot of good questions. So I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals. I'll talk to you next time.